That's also a very good approach right there, Dean. That's a very, very good approach. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people, yeah, you know, and that's something, Dean, what you just talked about. Dean also here, of everybody, hopefully you guys have met Dean on the forum, but Dean actually runs a very successful, you know, internet marketing based, kind of realtor based business. I'm not going to get into all the things, but he said right here, I use influential realtors in the country by making them more famous and then have them sell my program. So basically he's using other people's kind of famous celebritism to sell his product as well. So that's absolutely very, very good point right there. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but that's just a great point right there. So with that being said, all right, yeah, Dan says he has 12 employees. So with that also being said, if you have a few employees, being like the head of like, have you guys ever seen Mad Men? How many people here have ever seen Mad Men real quick? Just quick little show of hands, Donald Draper, anything like that? Just quick. All right, well, I'm going to lay it out there real quick. This is a really good example. I'm just going to pull up a little picture. This is just me jumping, shooting from the hip. I do this a lot in webinars if this is anyone's first webinar. 1 second, let me just pull up google.com. All right. And let's just talk. Now, I'm not going to go on like, I love Mad Men Rand right here. It's the best show ever. It's a good show. But I want to explain somewhat how what he has kind of going on in the advertising. If anybody's never seen this before, Donald Draper writes ads for agencies, and all the big agencies or all the big corporations, businesses, whatever, always come to his agency because they want to work with him. They want him to write the copywriting. Because of that, he's able to just get away with absolute murder. He's a prima donna. He throws all sorts of tantrums and stuff like that all the time. He's borderline psychopath. Because he writes such great copy and there's such this aura of Donald Draper, a lot of people come to his business. So this is just an example for anybody who might have a lot of employees. If you can create like kind of the Donald Draper effect where like you just have that kind of aura where people are like, oh, I would like to work with him. And you're like commanding this team. Anything your team does, anything like your services do below you has that kind of aura passed on to it. So it's just a really good example real quick of what you can get away with. Now, I'm not telling anyone to go cheat on their wife like Donald Draper does in every episode, but take that part of it and then don't take any of the rest. So back to the PowerPoint real quick. So the next thing I wanted to get into real quick, and we're going to get into actually, you know, just like every other webinar, I like to lay out the, someone said just like Dan Kennedy, you know, but what I'm going to be doing in this webinar, I have to lay out the overall idea, and I'm going to be teaching actual things you can start doing. But one thing I want to also lay out, before we get into this, you don't exactly have to be cool, or you don't have to be suave or anything like that, but you have to fit into people's success stereotypes. And so what are these? And I talked about this in one of our first webinars for a very brief amount of time. But people have been subconsciously trained, and I'm going to be getting into some really evil voodoo stuff in this webinar. So open your mind for some real mind-effing lessons here in Source Dynasty. But people have been subconsciously trained by TV, media, etc., to have an idea of what successful people look like. Now, I'm not talking standard rich people. I'm talking successful icons in their heads. All right, like everybody has these type of stereotypes in their heads. All right, so what I'm talking about is like they have these pictures in their head of like these are what different types of successful people look like. All right, so like what you need to do is fall into one of these stereotypes. Now, this isn't a list of every stereotype in the whole entire world, but look out there, look at who's kind of famous for being rich, and then kind of fall into that stereotype. For example, real quick, so many people, you know, they've seen the stay-at-home mommy mogul. You know, example like right here, just real quick example. I'm going to pull up her site where we're talking to a little bit. I discovered, you know, this woman right here. Her name is Melanie Duncan. Anyway, she's like one of the like mommy at home, you know, stay-at-home wife or whatever, woman makes home at line kind of online type of person right there. And it's kind of like a niche all into itself. Like she's positioned herself as like, I'm that, you know, I don't think this woman actually has a kid, but that's who she caters to. There's also like mommymogul.com where the woman's like, I'm the stay-at-home mommy entrepreneur, and she kind of fits into the like rich mom making her own kind of stereotype. All right. I'm going to jump back real quick. All right. But there's so many other strategies out there, like the young prodigy who's on the cutting edge, Mark Zuckerberg. All right, whenever like you could, if you were like kind of a lower, kind of like nerdy guy, like maybe you're like a little nerdy guy and stuff like that, fitting into that kind of Zuckerberg frame. Now, I'm not saying go out there and like start dressing like Zuckerberg and start talking exactly like him, but playing into that kind of like prodigy mindset, how people think. People get really, really excited over a young person who's just on the cutting edge. That's one thing Glenn Allsup of Viper Chill used extremely effectively to just absolutely blow up his mind. You could be the no bullshit, like straight laced, like Mr. Business entrepreneur, Donald Trump. All right. There's people like that. Like when people see people that kind of seem similar to these icons they see on TV every single day, they make just these connections in their head subconsciously. They go, oh wow, there you go. All right. There's also the, like the stereotype, like the unprofessional mastermind. And the big example I used to use for that is like Tony Stark, right? People freaking love Tony Stark from Iron Man. Like the wild, unprofessional, just does whatever he wants, but has all these genius ideas. And that's kind of the same thing exactly that Kern does. It makes Kern so attractive to anybody. If you actually go and look at like Tony Stark from Iron Man and compare him to Kern, it's kind of the same exact thing. Different, they're not the same person, but they're using the same type of stereotype that people just are naturally attracted to. All right. You could be like the nerdy analytical genius, like Seth Godin. If you ever seen the guy, he's just this very skinny guy with glasses and like a completely shaved head and looks like he should be working in like a computer cave somewhere, like putting together numbers. But people see that, and then when they see another person, it kind of seems similar. Like, oh wow, they just make the connections in their head. All right, the high intensity motivator, like the guy who's just like, if you're a big intense person, you want to like use that to your advantage. You don't want to be like, you don't want to go up and like, let's say you're shooting a video or something like that. You want to go up and be like, blah, blah, blah. You want to be like big, intense. And I'm not saying like if you're a big, like kind of chill person, play it off too, but play into your kind of role. All right. If you can put yourself kind of in a role in your head, whenever you interact, not like, don't walk into like a client meeting and like be like, all right, I'm going to act like Tony Stark right now and just go and like start knocking coffee cups over, but have a very good understanding of the person you present to people. The sassy and the independent, mature businesswoman. If there's any women in, I know there's women here, that Oprah, all right, if you're maybe a middle-aged woman playing like the sassy, independent, like mature businesswoman or something like that. I'm not saying play anything that's uncomfortable, but find a rich celebrity or a person who's known for being rich or very successful that's similar to you and kind of look at how they act and kind of play off that. So does that make sense real quick? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You don't want, the worst thing I see a lot of people doing is they start their blog or they put themselves out to the world, but they try and stick to the generic middleman. All right, and this is just general behavior. I'm going to show you how to use all this to make money. But the big problem, a lot of people out there, they have really cool personalities, or they have personalities, but they pick the wrong role to play. They go out and they try and be something that they're not. All right, so pick someone who kind of correlates to you, and then play up into that role and use that to your advantage, where you can make those sub connections in people's heads. That's the best way to really make people think of you as like a celebrity. All right, so keep that in mind. Now, look, you don't have to carbon copy, and this is stuff to keep in mind when we get in later into the webinar. Just keep this all in. Don't try and make any connections right now. Now, you don't have to be a carbon copy of anybody, but what you need to start doing whenever you think of who you present to people or who you present online, since we're going to be selling services online, is you want to pick the most super successful version of you. All right, like what I would like you to do right now, picture yourself speaking on stage. Picture just an audience of people just all inspire for you, and then make that persona in your head. All right, a long time ago, I'm constantly always thinking about myself. Like the first time before I ever went on stage or anything like that, I picture myself, on stage, like the young entrepreneur who like isn't afraid to say fuck and is like funny, but also like it's just pure on results. Like that's exactly who I pictured, up on stage and stuff like that. And then when you start doing that, when you start acting like that, it's going to start coming through in your actions. And whenever you interact with people online, that's exactly what's going to get pulled out of it. All right. So always picture that person in your head and make that a persona. All right. And that's the same person you always want to put out there when you're online. Now, I try to present myself a lot of time. The whole reason, like how I behave on Source TV, how I interact, it's not fake or anything like that, but I have a very good understanding of how I put myself out there. How I choose to present myself is a mix of how like Frank Kern used to be kind of slobby. I mixed it with a lot of Glenn Beck and then Daniel Tosh, if you've ever seen that comedian. So if you guys have ever watched me on Source TV, I picked the 3 things that attract people to those 3 people. Like Kern is just like straight results, kind of like just the odd genius. Glenn Beck is just Mr. Dramatic, all over the place, and that's why Glenn Beck is so famous, because he's just dramatic and stuff like that. And if you've ever seen Daniel Tosh, he's just sarcastic and stuff like that. I try to put all that together because I feel that's a pretty good representation of my personality, and that's how I convey myself. So because of that, I act like those people. I have the Daniel. If you guys have ever seen Tosh.0 on Comedy Central, very popular show. The whole background of Source TV set up just like that. I constantly make dramatic statements that rile people up, Glenn Beck style, to get people's attention. Then I constantly focus on just like crazy kind of like genius plans and stuff like that, but I don't try and be cool about it. All right, so just everybody sees right there, Yeah, someone said Daniel Tosh without the gay stuff. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be running around naked on Source TV anymore. But that's exactly the kind of stereotype I went after. All right, and I make sure I have all these characteristics in myself, but I align that and present with the kind of stereotypes people have in their head. All right, so like that pretty much describes me as a person, but I take the characteristics of myself that kind of correlate to that and align them with how I would like to present myself. Oops, one sec. Knocked off my VPS and it decided to tell me all about it. I'll send. All right. Let's go. All right. So now we all have that. I want to tell you guys real quick about the difference between, and people are saying core identity and stuff like that, knowing who yourself. This stuff right here will actually make you very, very successful in its own right. Just by how you interact, it's just with business and itself. But on a non-mental masturbation level, I'm all about mental masturbation. I'm also all about making money. This is exactly how you want to present yourself to people online. And if you behave this way, there's been so many times. Like, how many times have you guys ever been to like a person's website or you saw their Facebook, and just because of the pictures they had on there, or maybe because of like some of the trust signals or stuff on there, or how they position, or the pictures they have on their website, or how they handle their videos, it made you want to know more about the person when you didn't even know what they're selling. Has that ever happened to anybody here? Just give me a quick, yeah. A lot of people saying yes, yeah. Yep, just like dating. All right, someone said like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. Same exact thing right there. There's so many things, like the power of how you present yourself online can make a person think, hey, this guy must be a big deal. And a lot of times, like, one thing I want you to keep in mind when you're thinking of that scenario right there, you had no logical evidence whatsoever in your head that person was a big deal, but within seconds, the instant perception you had with them is this person seems like a celebrity. I want to know why. All right, and that's so powerful right there. That's such a hook. So what I also want to introduce real quick is the difference between authority and celebrity. And the reason why I have a picture of Kennedy and Nixon here, and I'm not like a big political analyst or something like that, but the reason why Kennedy beat Nixon over a whole lot of things, but it was a big surprise when they beat him and stuff like that. And I might be, correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason why he won is because people liked Kennedy more. People just liked Kennedy. He was a celebrity in people's eyes. And that's the same thing, with the recent election. I'm not really a hardcore Democrat or Republican, but the reason why Barack Obama was able to just absolutely crush Romney, and in the same election before this, Barack Obama was a celebrity and more people connected with him. More people saw the same exact thing going on right there. And I'm not really beating on any political party, but that's why these elections were run. All right. Yeah. Kennedy was real, Yeah. As people say stuff like that. And that's the power celebrity has. It overcomes logic. All right. It overcomes logic. And logic, it has nothing to do with selling to people. It's all about emotion. And that's just an example right there. Well, Nixon was an authority. He was qualified. And for all means, he was probably more qualified than Kennedy. However, people connected with Kennedy. They wanted to know more about Kennedy. They wanted to be around Kennedy. Therefore, they voted for him. That's the power of celebrity right there. Now, look, it's totally crucial because authority is based around logic, trust, thinking, and reason, which do come into play when you're selling something. But celebrity is based on emotion, just pure absolute emotion. And emotion is the number one reason behind people's decisions. Absolutely, just that's why people buy. If you cannot make a person feel good about a purchase, even though they logically feel it's the smart thing to do, they think it's the smart thing to do, and reasonably it's the smart thing to do, if you cannot make them feel good about it, they're not going to do it. If you can't make someone feel excited about you and working with you, they're not going to give you a $10,000 check because that's completely illogical. All right. So that's one thing right there. Now, when you have authority, people listen to what you have to say. They trust what you have to say. But when you have celebrity, people get excited just to see you say anything. All right. In the Bazooka webinar, I would never ever do this, but I could have gone out in the Bazooka webinar and just like made like goofy noises and told jokes for an hour and a half, and people would have been like, "Well, that was a fun webinar. I enjoyed that." And it's not like I'd ever do that. And, some people would be pissed off, but like a handful of people would be like, that was just funny. I enjoyed that. So that's the power of, well, let me jump back right here. That's the power of kind of having that celebrity way, having that kind of aura. So the, oh my God, it's really you effect. All right. And this is one of the biggest benefits of having that kind of celebrity aura. And I want you to understand all this so that you can use it. All right. This is all stuff that is up in the air right now, and you probably don't have a tangible way to use it. But when you're talking to clients and stuff like that, remember this. All right. Now, when people have that, oh my God, it's really you effect. Like picture, you know, let's just say someone, let's say, I'm going to pick someone from the crowd. Yeah. All right. So let's just say, let's grab someone from there. Let's say Dave Dolan. All right. So you have been putting these ads out all over the internet. People have been watching you. In your ad, you have this video of you explaining so and this, and this. All right. Let's say you write this ad for your client, and he comes in, gets the ad. You have another video. You have another video explaining your service and stuff like that. But not only are you explaining the service, you're like teaching them things. You're showing them cool stuff. You're like putting your personality out there a little bit. So they get your email. They're going through the follow-up. You say, hey, all right, look, we can schedule a session right now, but watch this other video of me. All right, so you have a video of you, you know, in front of a green screen maybe, or just, you know, sitting outside by like your garden or something like that. Like if the video looks nice, you have like a little mic that costs maybe $20, and this I'm going to get into this in the video session. But they see you talking again, explaining more business to them, all sorts of stuff, and you have pictures, you know, of you below speaking to people. You have a picture of maybe like your book that you just wrote. Again, maybe a book you wrote on Amazon, and then they go back and you say, all right, cool. If you'd like to do the consulting, click here. All right, and they put down a $250 deposit. Then what you do right there, since you have a client right there, you send them a personal video. You send them maybe a personal video like, hey, this is Dave. You know, I'm really excited to talk to you, Richard, whatever the person's name is. You know, I'm really excited to look into your business, this business name right here. I'm going to be talking to you on Thursday. All right. After that, that person has seen you so many times on video, so many times looking at you, so many times have you been teaching them that just that one person, even though you're a celebrity to nobody else online, to that one person, when you first get on the phone with them, they'll be like, holy shit, it's Dave. It's completely inevitable. And what happens when you do this? All right. First off, zero resistance to sales. Zero resistance to sales. There's a lot of respect. You don't walk into a meeting, you know, it's not, I'm going to show you the position is too. You walk into a meeting with that's a person, if you have the right product for them, you've gotten them excited enough to work with you. You position yourself the right way. There's very little resistance to sales. You're basically going in the meeting to see if you're right for each other. If you're right, just let's just sign the contracts and get this over with. And a lot of times when you do this, there's just a pure desire to work with you. When somebody sees you so many times on video, so many times in the kind of celebrity light that I'm going to show you to create, there's just pure desire to work with you. It really, like, you could have anything after, like, you know, I'm going to, like, you know, I guarantee you, if I went to the SourceWave list today and, you know, and I said, you know what I'm going to do right now? Yeah. Yeah, if I came up, Marco says, hey, Beck, you have to act the same way when you are, you know, charging 10K as if you were charging $20. Exactly, you know? And, you know, I guarantee you, like, I could go to the SourceWave list right now, and, you know, and I could be like, look, guys, I've really gotten into guitar playing. And although I'm not the best guitar player out there, I would like to see if anybody for $50 a month would like to join my guitar training program. All right, I would just put that out there. Now, it wouldn't be a massive success, but I bet you I could sell $1,000 of guitar programs to the SourceWave list just because I'm, you know, myself. All right, and it's not because I'm like, oh my God, I'm the most cool guy ever, but it's because I've created that kind of, you know, I've seen this guy so many times. Let's just go sign up for it. All right, and it's not like I'm not going to be releasing guitar programs anymore. I'm not a good guitar player. But there you go. Now, when you also have that kind of effect, when people see you, people seek you out, and the best part of this is people get slightly intimidated by this. When people are like, oh my God, it's really you, they get slightly intimidated and they get snapped out of logical thinking. All right. No longer is every, you know, thought countered with another logical thought and stuff like that. They get intimidated and they just go, okay, I'll go with that. Like, how many people, you know, when I first bought my first exotic car, I was intimidated as hell. All right. And intimidation is a very scary thing. And, you know, I would have made any deal the person had. I had no room to negotiate or anything like that. And intimidation in sales, while it's a little bit not nice, is a very powerful thing. So just keep that in mind. So someone said, when do you know you're at the 10K level, though? Literally today, you could be at the 10K level. All right. If you take this stuff I'm going to be teaching you right now, there's no doubt in my mind that if you applied it and pulled it off the right way, and of course, you're going to need to tweak it. You're going to need to tweak it. You're going to need to work on your positioning and so forth. But there's no doubt in my mind, you know, I've seen people do that. All right. I've seen tons of people do that where they've gone maybe, you know, let's just back up one sec. All right. $10,000, you might need to have a little bit of celebrity going for you right now. But if you wanted to charge anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000, you know, your first time, I guarantee you anybody can pull that off. You know, I've seen other people kind of pull off stuff like this. You know, this is my first time real teaching this, but I guarantee if you go out and you position yourself like this, you can. All right, exactly like with myself. You know, a year ago, again, crappy little room, not making much money. Still same credentials I have then as I have now. I just positioned myself differently. Keep that in mind. The only difference between myself now and when I was still running SourceWave but not making any money is positioning. That's it. That is it. So, yeah, boom. All right. So, anyways, the next point I want to make finally is when someone's like, "Oh my God, it's really you," they're excited to work for you. If like you just lay out the price tag, you're like, "Oh, by the way, the price tag is $5,000." Person would be like, "Wait, it's only $5,000? All right, cool. All right." That's the exact type of effect you can have on. So the benefits of selling. All right, and this is Britney Spears using selling. All right, so you can see that right there. There you go. Anybody remember that commercial? Yeah. Lauren just said, totally, I pulled 5K off today, but totally freaked to be honest, Nice. Awesome. Nice, Dean. That is awesome. Awesome. Good for you. Yeah. That's funny. Julian said she made a penny off of every can sold from this commercial. That's fine. Anyways, we've already talked about this a lot, but here's a few more benefits of selling real quick. And you just, again, need to really emphasize this. I want you guys to be able to use this weapon as much as possible. So, one second. Let me get a quick drink of water. Okay, cool. Also wanted to check the time real quick. We're going to go over like we always do. I've had a real problem sticking with an hour in any of my webinars recently. Is everybody okay with that? Everybody okay? Everybody enjoying this information real quick? Am I nailing the nail on the head with this information? Good. Just give me a quick. Your feedback and everything like that completely dominates what I teach you guys. So great. All right. Cool. Great. Steve says I always budget 2 hours. Yeah, it's just because I get on here and then suddenly I'm talking about like Mad Men and going through Google. Anyways. I'm really surprised how long my voice lasts for now on. I've developed quite the speaking voice. Anyways, so some things you need to keep in mind when you're selling, all right, with the C, is a lot of times people are emotionally pre-sold. Like 90% of the buying is feeling good about it. And you can tap into other things. Like when somebody is in awe of your kind of business or when you've done the things, getting pictures out there and everything like that. I'm going to show you templates, pictures that all these other marketers are doing, that I'm doing, what I've seen other marketers do and have tremendous success with. I'm going to be laying out there here in a sec. But when people feel like this, they're emotionally pre-sold. 90% of the buying is feeling good about something. So when you can make someone feel proud to be working with you, excited to be working with you, or almost desperate, the other day, same thing. I like with Frank Kern. I was like, "Hey, dude, look, I will give you $10,000. Can we just get started?" It's stuff like that. So, what a selling position to have. So, there's also zero resistance to price, and it might take a little bit while. Like sometimes, a little bit of reaching a celebrity status is being able to have big high-end clients back you up and stuff like that. But for the most part, pricing anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 is not hard. It's not hard. There's no reason. First off, what I really want to stress, guys, is the marketing tactics I've stressed you guys before. It's niching down to high-end niches, finding a high-end niche out there, and then doing that. And that's also combines with the resistance to price. It's going to be hard to get a dentist to fork over $4,000 per month, but maybe a realtor company or something like that, or a home association company, senior rehabilitation company, stuff like that. It's very, 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 very easy to get done. So there's zero resistance to price, product. All the power is loaded with you. You don't have to sell. You don't have to sell yourself. Like you can essentially cut most of the selling process out. And when I say you don't have to sell yourself, like you've already sold yourself. And by doing that, the negotiation, the proving you're trustworthy, all that bullshit is essentially cut out. You get way better clients, way more respect, and people buy you, not your work. All right. So 10 times higher prices and people love you for it. So establishing instant perceived value. And a lot of this is based around video and pictures. All right, that's what we're going to get into. This part is kind of a little short, but the main thing I want to stress is pictures and video are extremely, extremely crucial. All right, so one thing I want to break down real quick is building your as seen in resume. Now, one thing you're going to see on a lot of sites is this. All right, this right here. All right, as seen in. All right, you go over. I don't believe Social Triggers has them up or on here. But if you go like to his about page, I believe something right here, right? They always have the as seen in. And what I purposely try to do, and I've collected a bunch more of these, is I always try and get myself featured in all these places. Now, remember when I talked about the blog, all right? everything I'm teaching you guys so far ties into like a giant nuclear bomb. Now, one of the main reasons to have a blog is so we can increase our celebrity. All right. So what I always try to do, and my main goal with SourceWave at the start was get myself featured in as many places as I possibly can. Now, getting featured in the Wall Street Journal right off the bat might be a little bit difficult. All right. But getting featured in a lot of places with the tactics I showed you last webinar, not that hard. And what we want to do is we want to start collecting this resume right here. This right here, if you can put that underneath your name. You guys ever wonder, well, in episodes of Source TV, I put like 5 places I've been featured in above it. And that's because I know a lot of people that land on my page, what they're going to see first off, they're going to see the green screen, they're going to see me talking, and the first thing they're going to think is this guy for real? Therefore, I back it up with the as seen it. All right, so you guys thought, what are my credentials? What are this? Getting featured or getting quoted somewhere is very easy with the tactics I showed you last webinar. So if you can go out there, whenever you're showing a picture of yourself, whenever you're mentioning yourself, you can get this stuff in the picture with you. You can steal the celebrity from other places, and it creates instant, massive perceived value. All right? Like, check this. All right? You guys know what Derek Alpern is? No. Some people here might know. But look, we're just going to take this right here. We're going to take this little block right here. This right here is enough to generate massive amount of interest. It has this high-definition photo, looks very well put together, and you have all this shit above them. All right, that right there creates massive perceived interest. You want to know more about this person. That creates the celebrity effect right there. Yeah. Yeah. Someone said in the past I was in a national business magazine for a different business. Yes. Can I still use? Yes. If your business or anything you've ever worked on, use it. All right. First off, it's not like any of these places are going to come track you down. All right. So first, you can literally, I don't recommend doing this at all. All right. But you can literally just take all this, copy and paste on your site, and you'd probably get maybe 1 or 2 complaints. Like if you hit it big. All right. If you got lots of traffic going to your site right off the bat. But for the most part, you could probably get away with that. So if you've ever been featured anywhere, done anything, just put it up there. Put it on your resume. All right. It creates massive instant perceived value, and this is one thing you can do. If you can go and connect as featured in places to your face, all right, all the time, whenever people see my face, I always have my resume of as featured in around my face. It's just like the as seen on TV. It's just when people put their as seen in whatever on boxes of their products, right? So first thing you can always do is make sure to always get your face places connected with this stuff. Whenever you can in your brand, make sure to abuse the shit out of this. It's influential, all right? Same thing I did with SEO Mega, all right? It's like, hey, by the way, you can tell we're not bullshitting because we've been seen in this, and this places. We have 6,000 likes on Facebook, etc. All right? So back here real quick. All right, guilty by association, all right? Using others' rep to boost yours. Now, I'm going to skip real quick to show you what my friend Mario Brown does all the time, real quick. All right? He constantly, when he was creating this big event. Now, Mario Brown, I don't know if you guys ever heard of him or not, but yeah, exactly, Anthony. That's a really good point. I'm not going to read all that to the audience, but yeah, that's a really, really good point. But my friend Mario Brown, he's a big name in the JV field, but in the make money online, like the Frank Kern field and stuff like that, not that big of a name. So what Mario did to blow up, make himself look like a celebrity, is he constantly, well, first he went out, he made friends with these guys. He got in Frank Kern's coaching program, made friends with him. He won one of Mike Filzame's contests. That's how he got access to Mike Filzame. And he was able to get access to this guy, James Malicek, through some other way. I don't know. But you can see what he's doing right here. He constantly got pictures of himself, and he did the same exact thing that we did with the as featured in. You can see right here, he put it right on his Facebook. And every time he's posting an event, he's like, hey, and he has this German accent. He's like, me and Frank Kern, we're going to be at this event together. And Frank only spoke for about an hour out of the 4-day event, but people kept seeing Mario with him. They say, oh, God, Mario must be big now. Mario must be big. He's up here with Mike Filzame, who's pretty big in the internet marketing industry. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of him, but he's big too. And people are like, whoa, if he's hanging out with Mike Filzame, Frank Kern, I want to know this guy. All right. And what Mario did was extensive favors to be seen with these guys, which is something I recommend. But let's picture it this way, guys. Say you're in the surgeon niche. All right. How hard do you think would be to go out and maybe find a well-recognized surgeon and say, hey, can I help your business out just for free? Here's 10 things you can do. All right, here's 10 things you do. And you get him to be like, wow, that you could send it out to maybe 10 well-known surgeons. One of them might message back like, wow, this is really great stuff. And then maybe you could get like, you could be like, hey, would you like to Skype with this? And I'm going to give this all to you for free, but maybe could you give me a recommendation or something like that? Then boom, you take a picture of yourself with this world-recognized surgeon, maybe shaking hands. Maybe you go like to a event of his. Maybe you like find a surgeon event where he's and say, hey, maybe I can get a drink with you real quick. All right. Boom, you take a picture with them, shaking hands, you put the quote he said about you, and then you're showing that off to every other surgeon client you've ever gotten. All right, you see how that creates that massive celebrity-like image to a person in a niche? If you're diving these little niches, the beautiful thing is all the dermatologists know each other, all these surgeons know each other, all the kind of maybe the realtor companies know each other, but none of those people in the companies are extremely hard to reach because none of them are really famous, like these famous internet marketers right here. Yeah, so exactly. So you go out there, you get a picture, you help out maybe someone who's famous in one of the smaller niches. You find a really well-known dermatologist. They're not that hard to get in contact to. Help him out a little bit. Maybe get a drink with him, something like that, and have a picture with you, shaking hands. Look what we're doing right here. Guilt by association. You are now like a famous, consultant. And then you can hit up these other guys. Like, look, I've worked with him. I did these cool things for his business. Would you like to talk about this too? Here's a picture of us together. Just like that. All right, same thing I exactly do. I post pictures of myself with Frank Kern all over the place, even though I'm kind of not in the SEO field. But did you guys also see what I did when I got interviewed by Pat Flynn? I put pictures of that everywhere. That I dropped that everywhere. I use that as my celebrity. Like, oh yeah, I was on Pat Flynn the other day. All right, just like that. So one other thing right there you can do, and that creates instant perceived value of who you are. All right. Final thing we can always do is social proof, social proof, social proof. Now, there's a lot of ways we can do social proof, all right? One thing you can do when your business first starts off, I did this with a few SEO sites I've done, and back in the day when I used to run an SEO business called Search Wolf, I did this as well, is you can go out there, you create a Facebook page, and you just get, a couple thousand likes from Fiverr, all right? And I'm not saying this is completely up to you. I did this way back in the day with one of my first businesses, worked out very well. I don't currently do that, but it's up to you. I would like everybody to have the same tools I had when I got started with other business. Anyways, you go out there, you get a couple thousand likes on Fiverr, and then whenever you just go and create something like that, you just put that little like box next to whatever you're doing. All right, put a like next to your face and your pictures, whatever you want to do. Totally up to you if you want to do that. I would just want you guys to be able to go and abuse the system however you would like to. Just keep that in mind. One thing I showed you guys about with the blog, remember that real quick. Remember how I showed you the like lockers and stuff like that. Anything you can do to also generate natural links and people interacting with your Facebook page and stuff like that. Real quick on the Omega sales page, I made a very quick instant perceived value pitch right there. All right, so you guys saw, if you go back, look at the Omega sales page. I'll link to it below this video when there's a replay. The first thing I do right there is I'm constantly linking back to our Facebook page and the social proof we have. Constantly linking back to that and then connecting that back to myself. Right? Even in the video, I'm using like NLP and pointing back to myself. So people were like, wow, this guy must be a big deal. And I'm like, look, I've been on Smart Passive Income, all sorts of stuff like that. And I built massive instant perceived value. People wanted to know more about me, regardless if they bought the product or not. So this is a very good example right there. Now, long-term perceived value, all right? Some things you can do, all right? Whenever you interact with the customer, whether through your blog or through advertisements or anything like that, you want to have the same overall message over and over again. You want to be consistent with who you are. All right, like if there was one week where I came on Source TV and I'm like, hello, this is Alex Becker, and today I'm going to be teaching you about Whitehead SEO. It's very good, and you should never break the Google Terms of Service. And the next week I came out, I'm like, Blackhead SEO, screw Matt Cutts, ha ha ha, shit, curse words, stuff like that. Shooting guns up in there. That's what I was just doing right now. It wouldn't correlate. All right, there would be no real understanding and relation. And what long-term perceived value is essentially having that kind of relationship with somebody. For example, when let's just say use Kennedy, or let's just use Barack Obama. And I'm not promoting any political party here. I'm not particularly fond of the guy, but he's a great marketer. And Barack Obama's always kind of same. Well, I actually did the same thing. He kind of switches positions a lot, but his behavior is very similar at the same time. So if Barack Obama came in your house, you'd feel like you had a pretty good idea of how he'd behave and who he would act like. Just an example right there. Same thing with other celebrities and stuff like that. They're on TV. Like if Jay Leno came in your house, you'd have a pretty good idea of how Jay Leno's going to act. And that builds massive comfort and familiarity with the person you're buying from. So that's really important. Now, constant familiarity, having constantly what I talked about, constantly sending the video to a person over and over again when they become your client or something like that, or maybe updating them, via the internet and video, or when they get to your funnel, sending them a collection of videos instead of emails, constantly builds that familiarity. So when it comes to sell time, they are completely comfortable with you, they're familiar with you, and you even have that little kind of awe effect. Now, doing what I like to call celebritous acts. All right, this is extremely important, and it depends on the niche you're in. For example, Frank Kern, his niche right now, is selling stuff online, and his big attraction is people want to be wealthy, extremely wealthy from selling stuff online. So if you watch his Facebook, he's always doing celebritous things. You're gonna see it. It's like really funny marketing, but you'll see pictures of him on the weekdays, nicely clothed, just drinking beer, being extremely successful. Now it's all very subtle, but you go through that again, you go look at other things he's doing out there. There's like a picture of him and his wife, and they're at Prada. All right, people are like, oh man, he must be living up. And there's a picture of him at like this concert is hard to get in. People, he doesn't ever come out and say this, but he's doing like celebritous acts. So how can we apply that to our niches? All right, say you're at, you're in the surgeon niche and stuff like that. Say you have a bunch of people liking your page, and you have like a picture of yourself like just sitting in a chair, just like reading a surgeon book or something like that. Just stuff that correlates to what you're doing. Like a picture of you maybe like sitting on the roof reading your surgeon book and like learning more and more about this. Learning more and more about what Dr. So-and-so, like maybe name drop that person that you met early in the week on there. Going to a surgeon event and standing next to like the coolest things out there and like shaking hands with a bunch of surgeons. Getting pictures of yourself doing celebritous acts and stuff like that makes you look very successful to the people, and it's all perceived, all right? So keep that all in mind. Now, the biggest point of this webinar, the main thing I've really wanted to get into is, and the main thing I want you guys to walk away with and apply, all right? Does everybody understand what we've talked to real quick? I want a big roar of yeses, a bunch of America, yeah, hell yeah, this kind of stuff. Talked a lot about Barack Obama and celebrities and Brad Pitt and Justin Bieber tonight. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the webinar. Give me a big roar of yeses. Everyone here, I know exactly how many people are here. I want all the yeses. There we go. Cool. Oh yeah, there's like someone doing like a Hulk Hogan. Oh yeah. Like that's actually Macho Man, isn't it? There we go. Someone asked real quick, are you implying that we fake it till we make it? Not really. If you're, of course, doing all these things, and it's all about how you present yourself, all right? Now, I'm not saying go to like a car dealership and take pictures of yourself with like a Porsche 911 and be like, this is my new car, and then like go stand in like someone's driveway of a massive house and be like, look at my massive house. I'm saying behave like a celebrity, all right? So far in this webinar, I haven't told you to do anything fake really, except for the social proof, and that's just perception right there. But I'm saying grab the things that appear celebrity-like to people and use those to put it out there. Like a lot of people, they'll be like, if you go out there and you see them talking in their SEO videos, they're like in a non-HD camera in their office, like in a chair, just leaning back, and they're like, all right, I'm going to tell you about SEO today. I'm very looking forward to be interested in your business. Step one, we need to build backlinks through the Google, like they're just doing that kind of stuff right there. There's no authority, there's no celebrityism, there's no awe in what that person's doing. And you have like pictures of them, like you have like a person's Facebook page, and you're like, look, we're at the office today, and you just see a bunch of like fat slobs sitting there. It's like nothing cool about it. It's all about how you present yourself, all about perception. There's so many people on YouTube that are famous, they're like celebrities, and they don't have like $1 to their name, all right? The big thing to understand is celebrity has no correlation to success, money, or anything like that. It is completely correlated to how people perceive you. All right, so we're controlling people's perceptions. So no, we're not faking it till we make it. We're controlling people's perceptions. Yeah. Smitty said this webinar's focus is peacocking. Anyways, so the biggest point in this webinar I want to get to right now is the biggest impact on how people see you is how they see you, how they see your actual person right there, all right? So what I like to call this is the TV effect. And our whole entire lives, YouTube is a fairly new thing. It's a fairly new thing. There's people on YouTube that I see all the time that I'm a fan of that I would be in awe of if I met them, and they're actually not super successful people. I'm just like, I see them on YouTube all the time. And our whole entire lives, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. We've grown up watching TV, and whatever is on that box, whatever's going on that screen, whatever we're seeing going on outside of our initial reality, vis-a-vis per se matrix, complicated words, is what we kind of see as like celebrity. All right, so like we talked about the e-insurance girl and stuff like that. Like, how many people can relate to this? You know, like when you see someone on TV and stuff like that, you instantly kind of see them as a celebrity. Like even if you saw the same commercial 50 times in a row and you saw the same guy on TV, what like the guys you see on a great example of this is the guy who did OxyClean. What was that? He died, I think. As long as we're talking about mortgage things, the guy who died, OxyClean, Billy Mays. Yes, yeah. Someone's like, yes, he did die. Anyways, funny voices aside, like if you saw Billy Mays walking down the street, you'd be like, holy shit, it's Billy Mays. And the guy's really done nothing, you know, like, I mean, like, of course he's extremely successful and stuff like that, but the reason why you're excited, you're like shock and awe to see him is because you've seen the guy on TV being like, OxyClean, no, let's pour this on shit and make it white. That's why you would be like entertained. You'd be like, oh God, it's Billy Mays, you know, like completely good example, you know, of just a person who's not really like a celebrity, but the fact that you've seen him on TV so much makes him a celebrity. So anyways, because of this, how people's subconscious is trained in my little Becker world of mental control, I don't know, is when people are, because we've grown up watching TV and stuff like that, we see these people on TV all the time. And so when we see people constantly talking to us on our computers and stuff like that, it has the same effect on our brain. There's people you see probably on the internet all the time. So what we want to try and do is abuse the TV effect as much as we possibly can. We want to look almost like what people see on TV, because then the little triggers go off in people's heads. For example, you know, Frank Kern, there's so many videos of Frank Kern driving around in a Rolls Royce. And I know I'm using him as an example of it's a perfect example of someone building this celebrity image out of nothing, right? Just like that. There's so many videos you'll see of like Frank Kern, you know, sitting around like surfing, driving his Rolls Royce around. Really well put together videos and stuff like that. And people are like, wow, this guy is freaking cool. That's his whole entire sales pitch. Wow, I'm freaking cool. All right. Same thing when we want to take advantage of. So example one right here. And I'm going to be using a bunch of different examples as we go through this. All right. So real quick right here. All right. So let's just jump over. Oops, that's not where I was going. Let's jump over to, all right. So look, we come on this woman's site, Melanie Duncan. All right, and I'm using this because this literally had the same effect on me, and then I actually started reading the blog, and it didn't really apply to me. But well, she's also pretty decent looking. But let's just ignore that. All right, and so I was scanning around Facebook the other day, and a friend of mine liked this marketing. It was like Entrepreneurs' blog on making money. I was like, all right, whatever. I clicked on that, and I see lots of images like this. I see HD pictures. I see. Oh, one second. I think I might have skipped the part in the webinar. Let me jump back. Okay, never mind. We're right on track. All right, so I see these pictures. I come to this website. Now, this right here, just HD pictures, things looking good, and like looking kind of like the advertisements you see on TV, the stuff you actually see on commercials and stuff like that. It makes her seem almost kind of celebrity-esque. And you got this stuff up here. You got this cool logo and stuff right here. And nothing on this page has proved to me that she knows a single iota of what she's talking about at all. But when I first come to this page, look at this, all right? It makes me go, this person seems very successful, all right? You say, this person seems very successful. Maybe I should sign up for her training. I don't like subscribing to email lists and stuff like that, so I, of course, whenever clicked on her blog. And the first thing you see on the blog is just her pictures of her over and over again. What is she selling on this blog? Answer me this. What is she selling? Yeah, someone's like, she's married. I'm like, well, it's okay. You guys remember when Becker traveled across the country to try and seduce that Melanie Duncan girl? And that was embarrassing. But yeah, she's some. All right, so we got. I've gotten to all these weird responses. Someone's like, I'm like, what is she selling here? Someone's like, sex. Blah. Like, all right, well, we got the most professional group ever. But what she's selling here is herself. Exactly, that's exactly what she's selling. If you actually read her blog, It's just really like simple. It's like pure mental masturbation. I wasn't too impressed with that. But you keep coming up here and you see this successful woman that looks like she's kicking ass in life. And you're like, oh my God, well, she must know some secret. You know, she looks so cool. You know, and we can actually scan down around here, and there really aren't that many. Like, there really isn't, like, she's literally just saying, you know, wear makeup during the day. That was like her advice in this article. But look, I literally dug around this blog, and I'm like, well, this woman looks very successful. She must be able to teach me something about business. All this was perceived before I even got to anything she was talking about. If she'd come down here now and like taught me one thing, I'm like, wow, you know, not only Duncan has some crazy crap, all right? And but also on top of this, guys, what I'm laying out right here, like, look, you're constantly seeing her right here. You're constantly seeing her in videos, talking high definition videos and stuff like that. And when you see her in the videos and stuff like this, and this is a purely just like, look how the video starts off and stuff like that. And none of this is that hard to do.
Do you wish you had more hours in a day? That's one of the most common excuses I hear for why people can't get to the projects that could grow their businesses. I'm going to share with you the top.
Well, anyway, she has like this cool little video intro. And stuff like that costs like maybe like $50 to do if you catch like a kid who's in video editing school and stuff like that. All that stuff you just saw out there. But what it does says subconsciously to us is like, whoa, we better listen up because this person looks like a celebrity. All right, it literally looks like a celebrity. It looks like the TV shows we're looking at, you know? So does everybody see that real quick? Does everybody see what I'm talking about? Yeah. Now imagine if you could get this same effect on your business. Now imagine a surgeon, all right, and I'm just going to use surgeons for now as my high niche example. Surgeon comes on your site. They see you like right there. They see like pictures of you in like HD or whatever, all right? These pictures aren't hard to do, all right? I'm completely self-trained in Photoshop, and I can take a picture of myself and make it look just like this. It's very easy to do. You can find a kid in high school and make him kind of apply pictures just like this. It's very, very easy to do. Heck, my advice to any marketer out there is go learn Photoshop. It takes like maybe 5 days to do this kind of stuff right here if you learn it. So, anyway, surgeon comes on your site. He sees all these professional pictures of you. He sees you in HD, and he's like, wow, this person looks famous. I'm going to listen to what they have to say. Then you blow his mind with something really cool. You say, hey, get on my list. I'm going to show you 5 ways to improve your business. You keep sending him videos that look like this. By the time you go and talk to this person, he's going to be so like, wow, this person must be the freaking coolest surgeon SEO I've ever seen, that he's just going to agree on whatever price you throw out there. All right? I guarantee you this woman has gotten massive consulting deals just because she looks cool. There's really nothing that of substantial on her blog. All right? So again, can everybody see themselves doing that with some fine tuning? All right? Of course, you know, there's some fine tuning and stuff like that, but does anybody think this is impossible to do? Everyone exactly yes, absolutely yes. Yeah. Awesome. All right. All right. So let's go back again. All right. Now, Kern. Really funny thing Kern used to do. All right. Kern would literally just get on the internet and say, I'm the king of the internet. He'd dress up like the president, get in front of an HD camera, and give a status of the internet address. He's good at selling stuff online. Like, I love Frank. I love his products and stuff like that. But literally, he has no qualifications, whatever. But he goes in front of a desk like the president, acts like the president, and tells people how the internet is being run. I'm in front of an HD camera. He just gets up. I am Frank Kern. I have no qualifications whatsoever, but this is how the internet is going to be run. When you see somebody do that right off the bat, someone said something about movie watching. All right, but Marco, but you also say, you know, Marco, real quick, you know, I'm going to hire a salesperson or a spokesperson. I look like a troll. Play that off. Have you guys ever seen Shoe Money or whatever? The guy has no chin. Like, Marco, you look much better than this guy. Like, there's the guy from like the Shoe Money blog. The guy's like no chin. It's just like a quadruple chin going to his chest. But you'll see him like running around in spandex and stuff like that in his blog and stuff like that, and like doing funny stuff. Just play it up. Own up to who you are. There's nothing that attracts people more than owning up to who you are and just behaving like yourself. Right? So, you know, Marco, if you have like some quirks and stuff like that, go out there and throw those quirks out there, you know? Yeah. Also look at that. You know, he has his Rolexes in the background, like Bradley pointed out, and he goes up and presents himself just like that. He is presenting himself. Frank Kern completely controls how he presents himself, and that's why he's so famous compared to other marketers. There's other marketers out there that make just as much money as he does, well, sort of, and he just presents himself as the king of the internet. All right. Now, same thing too. When you go to his blog and stuff like that, let's look at his Facebook and how he interacts. And this is all stuff you can start doing with yours. All right. So let's go to his Facebook. It's really, really funny. All right. Now, look, you constantly see just pictures of Frank doing cool stuff. Like here's Frank playing the piano in like nice clothes with his Rolex on, all nice looking right here. You see him in this expensive hotel and suit. You see him in this stuff right here. And what it's subconsciously doing to anybody here, I don't know if this is implied or not, but you see people here and people are like, wow, I want to know that guy. You know, that looks cool to me and stuff like that. So just going off, let's just imagine our first experience with Frank Kern is the address of the internet. All right, we see this guy come on. We're like, who the heck is this? He comes on HD camera with these Rolex and stuff like that, and he's like, hey, this is how the internet's going to work. And he looks like a celebrity, therefore we listen to him. Then he blows our mind with some really good information. All right. Next thing we do, you know, we're like, who's Frank Kern? We throw in the Google. We check his Facebook. We see him here looking like a celebrity. All right, doing all this cool stuff. You got all these HD pictures. Him like doing all this cool stuff. It's 3 a.m. I'm just chilling, reading this business book. You know, seeing him with these other people doing all this cool work and stuff like that, and it gets you excited about the person as a whole. All right, just really putting this stuff out here, and you can also see just going through here really also puts his personality out there. So at the point after this, all right, he's gone out there, he's looked like a celebrity to us, he's taught us some cool stuff. We come here, we see him doing all this celebrity cool stuff, but also just being cool and just like playing to himself, and that's where you go. All right, like it literally just creates that whole. By this point, like most people would be like, well, this guy's really cool. I'd like to learn more marketing advice from him. You know, a month later, that person buys a $2,000 marketing product. Yeah. Yeah, and Mark says, this makes me realize how much I've been hiding behind sites. The only reason, guys, why SourceWave is successful and why I do so much better than other JV launchers out there is because I put myself out there in video and talk so much and put my personality out there. Because of that, that's why you guys felt confident enough to spend $199 a month with me on coaching. All right, because of that, because of the videos and stuff like that, I built the comfort. I built the kind of celebrityness. You guys, heck, I want to work with Becker. You know, I don't know. I know he doesn't have any credentials. Logically, you knew I had no credentials, but here you are right now, and we're all having a great time. So there you go. So everybody see that real quick. Does everybody see, you know, how you can even start a business with no credentials? All right, just making yourself look like a celebrity. All right, so back real quick again. Let's jump back to another one. All right, Kyle, this is a really great example right here. I showed this in one of the first webinars. Kyle right here actually got started in local SEO, I think, about a year ago. And I just know him kind of loosely through Facebook, but he put his page up. And I went on there. I'm like, hot damn, this guy looks like he charges $50,000 per month for SEO. I might need to work on how I present myself on SourceWave. But you can see right here, this right here, I guarantee this photo session right here, he went, got a suit, got some person with the HD camera take pictures of him. All right. Again, you're just going through here. You see all these pictures and stuff right here, and he looks too cool for school. Now, when a client comes on the site and sees this, they're going to go, whoa. Now, imagine if Kyle got himself in front of an HD camera. Like, what could he do better on him? Like, first off, he looks like a hot shot, all right? He looks like someone you'd want to work with. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And this is all done, this whole aura right here. Like when someone first gets a meeting with Kyle, when he walks in, they're gonna be expecting like freaking Ari Gold from Entourage to just be walking in, just Mr. like gold-studded boots. Just let's get the business right now. That's the type of persona he's putting through the site, and he's playing up to it. He's not hiding the fact that he's young. He's not hiding the fact that he's successful. He's not sticking with just a whole basic, I will give you SEO service for this much a month. He's presenting himself as a badass who's, you know, just Mr. Business, going to get shit done. This is something that anybody can do. This whole aura is created with 2 pictures, all right? It's marketing genius. I mean, not marketing genius, although anybody can do this, but it's extremely beneficial. But what could he have done better right here? Imagine right here if he got himself featured on Search Engine Land, Search Engine Journal, whatever. Right off the bat, uses trust factors right there. Boom. Kyle looks 10 times more authoritative right there. Now people, you know, the question people might ask is, well, did he just get an HD camera and do this? Boom, right up here, right up here, right up here. Next thing to do right here, video below. You know, we could do the same exact thing that we saw Melanie Duncan do on her site with the cool little labels and stuff like that. Not hard to do at all. Just to tell you guys real quick, you know, my green screen, my camera and stuff like that for Source TV, when I first started doing it, only cost maybe about $300. Now I have a little bit better HD camera now, but all possible to do, you know, not out of anyone's budget who wants to get serious about doing this. So just to set that all up for you, a lot of things you do with there. Now imagine if he had like a video. He comes in front of like a green screen. He's like talking with all this stuff. He's showing himself, you know, at events with SEO marketing leaders, shaking hands, you know, shaking hands with important people of companies and stuff like that. Boom, he looks super successful. All right, so you see how he's doing that right there? For green screen, I'll actually share what I use my green screen and stuff like that. So everybody see that real quick? Now, anybody here who's thinking real quick, you know, maybe I don't look like Kyle. Maybe I'm not cool. Don't play it off like that. You know, it's not about how you look physically. It's about how you look personality-wise. Back in the day, actually, when I used to coach dating, it's the same exact thing. But there's two types of guys. Like, let's just type in, you know, if you type in, let's just say, like, everybody picture Seth Godin right here, all right? Let me pull him up real quick. Actually, I think a really good example is Neil Strauss, all right? One sec. This guy is like a world best published author and stuff like that. All right, so let me find a good example right now. All right. Two great examples right here. All right, so right here we have just nerdy troll Neil Strauss. All right, for anybody who thinks like they just couldn't do it, you just have this nerdy guy right here, looks pretty cool. Then we kick it over. All right, what difference in personality and persona and perception does just changing a picture like this? All right, he looks like a badass in this picture now. All right, and then right up here, like we got this picture right here, same guy, different persona conveyed through pictures. All right, so look, this guy's just a nasty little troll in real life. This is him right here. He's just a nasty little skinny troll, but you can create and control how people perceive you. All right, that's the beauty of pictures online and stuff like that. Sorry, Dave says find someone old, fat, and ugly. All right, really easy. We got Donald Trump right here. All right, look, you got like Donald Trump right here, looks just like absolute crap in this picture. All right, his hair's going everywhere. Then you got this right here. He looks like just a freaking badass. The guy's old, he's not good looking, but if you see this picture right here, you can frame yourself looking like this or like this, you look like a badass. Now, sure, he's not a good looking guy or stuff like that, but he looks very intimidating, very successful. All right, same exact thing going on right there. Exact same thing right there. Now, you can see there's different pictures of him and stuff like that, but the Donald Trump that is purveyed on, what was that show he used to have? You know? Yeah, someone said he's rich, but just right here, if you just saw like this picture right here, you think hard-ass, hardcore businessman doesn't fuck around. Exactly just like that. So there's an example right there of just how you can change your perception. So, all right, Derek Halpern, I think I already talked about him. Mario Brown, great example of someone doing the best with what they have. Now, Mario Brown makes a shit ton of money. He's loaded, all right? He's actually one of my coaches. But for lack of better words, he's not that good with Photoshop or stuff like that. You can actually see this ad right here is not that well done. All right, it's not like the ads we run at SourceWave and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. All right, Mario still gets the exact same things right there. All right, you can see Mario at every point using pictures, always, and getting himself on camera. Now, again, also one thing I want to also point out about Mario. He was the most successful WSO launcher for a long time until he got out of it. And the reason why, and he had sales pages that weren't as cool, didn't look as good as everybody else's, but he always had himself in video. He always had himself in video. So one second, let me just go over here real quick. All right. Let me see if I can find this video real quick. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So,
okay, the official winner for this year.
All right. So just watch this real quick.
Who moved to America only 5 years ago.
Can you guys hear my speakers real quick? This is like the absolute perfection of what you can do with video if you don't even have a huge budget. Can you hear my speakers? Can you hear what's going on in the video? I'm going to re-angle my camera real quick. All right, cool. All right. Just watch how he uses everything we've talked about in this video to absolute perfection. And this is how he makes everybody that came to his event see him as a celebrity. Like, people were taking pictures with him. People were chasing around the lobby like, Mario, let's work for you. And at the end of the event, he said, all right, we're going to have a group coaching program for $1,000 per month. He got a ton of people to sign up for his coaching program. So here we go.
2008, I left my family behind in a different country, and I'm a stranger in the United States with broken English, alone, scared, and completely broke. I turned it all around though, thanks to online marketing. My name is Mario Brown, and this is my story.
You know, people want to tell me the American dream is broken. I don't think so.
All right, so I'm gonna pause it, and if you go through the video more, it's like him and like his like wife, like it's like just people talking about him.
Stop believing in the whole concept of internet marketing.
And he said,
all right. So, anyways, what goes on in the video is first off, you see him on stage. You see all these people cheering and clapping for him. All right, look at that right there. You know, it might be hard to get a whole room of people to cheer and clap for you. I'd say just go spend $150 and get a bunch of hobos in a room and get them all to stand up and clap for you. But if you can't do that, look what he starts off right there doing. He starts off in a position of authority doing something like that. Now, in reality, in that picture right here, he had just won a 10-minute speaking contest. It wasn't like he was like championship marker of the year, but you see him on stage, all these people clapping and stuff like that. But then you see what happens. He starts playing off his personality. He says, look, I came here, no English, no whatever. And then you see videos of just Mario, you know, talking about himself just in HD. And you see his wife talking about him. And then you see like maybe a few other people, you know, I don't think there's a few other people, like his business partner, like his friend, and like maybe one or two other people. Not a ton of people, but just his friends and stuff, talking about him, making him look like the greatest guy ever. And, you know, look, this video doesn't even have that many views, but like people are like, holy crap, I would like to go meet this person. All right. Using video, Mario went from a guy who speaks kind of choppy English, I've met him multiple times, you know, kind of goofy, to a person who people are like, wow, this guy must just be, he's amazing. He's amazing. I want to get in his coaching program. You see all the video, all the pictures. And if, of course, we go to his Facebook, let's just see how I can find it real quick. Let me log into let me jump over real quick. All right, let me go find his Facebook real quick. All right. I think this is, no, that's not his page. Okay. All right, again, you see, move. You see Mario right here, again, making himself look like a celebrity as best as he possibly can. You got it looking all like this. None of this stuff is hard to put together right here. And you got presented by all these reputations. You got all these people, and he's constantly using this, constantly getting pictures of himself everywhere. And why this works, guys, is because people feel they know Mario. They feel like they could work with him. They feel like they trust him. Mario doesn't have to sell. His selling pitch at the end of the whole entire event was, hey, you know if you want to work with me or not. Thank you so much for coming. Like, that was it. There was a little bit more pitch than that, but you see him doing all this stuff, completely using pictures over and over again and funniness and stuff like that to put him up there. Constantly pictures with other celebrities and stuff like that. You can do this in your own niche. You don't have to get Frank Kern or Mike Filsaime to pose with you. Get a doctor that's well-known or has a reputation to do it, and then you're doing the same thing over and over again. All right, so everybody see that real quick. Give me a quick yes. All right, does everybody see? Can everybody kind of picture ways that they could start doing that? Maybe you couldn't put together a super professional video like Mario, but maybe 4 months from now, yeah, you could. All right, does everybody see how you could do that? I want a big hell yes. Like, I don't want anybody on the fence like, I can't do this. This is too much. Like, you can freaking do this, and this is exactly how myself, Mario, Frank Kern, Derek Halpern, Kyle, Duncan, Melanie Duncan right here, are all making a killing online because we are selling ourselves, and then we're selling our knowledge. All right, so yeah, hell yeah, you guys need to get, excuse my French, we need to get fucking excited because this is exactly how all these people right here who are all making tons of money online are doing it. This is the big secret. Sell yourself, make yourself really cool online. And that's what we're doing. We're building businesses right here. So example 5, you know, you go to my personal Facebook page, which is essentially a fan page. I don't really have a Facebook for other than talking to my partner, maybe a few friends, then making myself look cooler. Everything I literally post to my personal Facebook page is pretty much used to create effects at this point. So it's just because there's just so many people liking me and stuff like that. So yeah. So you come to my Facebook page, you see me right here in this picture, HD camera in a suit. People automatically come here like, I wonder what Alex Becker's up to. Like, there's literally people that like come to my Facebook page that I went to high school with. They're like, wow, dude, you're like super successful now. I'm like, well, how do you know? And I'm like, I don't know. You're on stage and you're wearing like you look like you're doing well. I'm like, exactly like that. So people come to the page. You got a picture of me on stage. No, I was only talking to like 100 people right there. And this was only a 10-minute speech. And the really funny thing is I was scared shitless when I'm on stage. Like I'm not like Mr. Charismatic right now when you're actually talking to like 200 people with like them looking at you. Like I was not Joe Cool, but in this picture, perception is all there is. So keep that in mind. Yeah, actually before I gave my speech at this event, like I actually won best speech and stuff like that because I'm so experienced in speaking up that I was able to go autopilot, but it wasn't as good as the speech as I could have given. And literally before I went up there, like I actually spilled water on my pants. Thank God my pants were black, but I would have had like it would look like I just pissed myself on stage. So good stuff. Rob Hughes asked, when starting out with a Facebook page, is there a way to get a big following pretty quick? Check out the webinar that we had on blogging. I show exactly how to kind of generate a following pretty quickly just from the start. But then go again. Like how am I presenting myself on the big SEO business webinar that we did a while back, right? Like I put my heart and soul in that because I really want Source Dynasty to be a success. And you see right here doing the exact same thing Mario did. 7-figure business in one. You see me like in a suit, smiling, wearing my Rolex. And there's nothing about that that says I know what I'm talking about. I just look like I know what I'm talking about. Completely perception. You see this stuff right here. See the SourceWave logo. June 5th, 8 p.m. Eastern. Everyone's like, what the hell's going on then? What's happened to June 5th, 8 p.m. Eastern? We actually got a ton more subscribers to our subscription base that just saw the picture on Facebook. And we're like, oh, who's this guy? All right. And also, Source TV. Always in front of a green screen. Always the same setup as like Tosh.0 or The Soup. All right. And that way people will like see me come on. And that separates me from every other SEO out there. And like, wow, this guy looks like he is famous or something like that. All right. Yeah. So, but does everybody see that real quick? Let me turn off my Facebook chat real quick. All right. But does everybody see why I present myself the way I do? All right. I'm doing all the same stuff we stress and all those other all that stuff up there, except I'm not as good looking as Kyle. But there we go. So how can we use this in our business? All right. So let's step back. All right, and we'll kind of picture how we can use this. All right. So how can you use pictures in your business? Get pictures with famous people in your niche. All right. If you're in the surgeon niche, find a well-known doctor, maybe in your area. Show them some cool things. Find any doctors in your area. And just show them some cool things for free. Maybe get them a drink or something like that. Take a picture, and you can have like, hey, getting a drink with so-and-so. And he says, Alex, so-and-so is helping me with my business. Or you put that underneath it, boom, right there. All right, so again, pictures of you doing things important people do. Get yourself on stage. Get yourself, I don't know, on top of your roof or something, or like enjoying a Monday at home or something like that, like living the internet marketing lifestyle. Get that kind of going on there. Get pictures of yourself, well put together, on video or something like that. Or like next time you're filming a video, like maybe if you get some lighting equipment and maybe a green screen later on, get a picture of yourself doing that, like the actual like room itself set up, because people are like, oh wow, he has a green screen set up, he must be famous. No, I just spent $140 on Amazon. All right, get pictures of you teaching people. All right, even if you can get like a group of 5 people, anywhere. If you can get a group of 5 people in front of you, take a picture, overlooking those people's heads, have yourself teaching them. All right, makes you look like a superstar. All right, and then pictures matching the success stereotype. All right, play off into it. All right, so like Neil Strauss when he did those pictures. All right, I'll put this up real quick. Let's go Neil Strauss. But just in this picture, he's making himself look like a badass. He's not showing the nerdy side of himself. He's showing himself like the cool nerd, like the sexy nerd, right? He's playing into that stereotype, and that's how he sold millions of dollars of dating products, all right? So keep that in mind real quick. Play into those stereotypes. The sexy nerd who gets the girls or something like that. That's an example of a stereotype just right there that people are interested in hearing about. All right. On top of that, finally, get HD pictures of yourself, all right? If you have to send them off to someone through Photoshop to make yourself look really good in these pictures, it doesn't cost much either. Get your iPhone. iPhones have HD, I believe. It's very possible to take just good pictures with iPhones, get them sent off, get them mastered real quick, and then use those, all right? If you can use that, make yourself look like a badass like Kyle or Melanie did in those examples, damn, you look cool compared to other people that they might be working with. Now, instant perception from these photos. All right, first off, the person's going to think this person must be a big deal. All right, from the first stuff right here. We're kind of going through the list. One sec. All right, pictures with a famous person in a niche. The person's going to assume this person must be a big deal. All right, pictures of you doing important stuff people do. Wow, he's at X, Y, and Z conference. He's definitely a leader in this niche. All right, pictures of you teaching people. If the other people are listening to him, he must be important. All right, pictures of you matching success stereotypes. Like a lot of times I try and get like a Tony Stark image. Frank Kern definitely does that. People think, dude, he's like Tony Stark, right? Because people like think, I don't know. They don't actually think he's like Tony Stark, but they've seen that. One sec. Let me get a drink of water real quick. I've been talking for a long time, but they see that in the movies. They see that stress on TV, and subconsciously they make that connection. And then they see you in HD looking all awesome. Like, wow, this person must be a pro. This must be a legit person, all right? All these things are perception. None of them have anything to do with how good of you are at SEO, how well run your business is, even if you know what you're talking about. All this perception right here. All that's stacked in your favor. And you just did that by just changing your perception or how people look at you, all right? So using good video, all right? Teaching via video, all right? First thing right now, the more you can get people looking at you while you're teaching on video, the better. If you can just like send your clients like a highlight reel of you just talking on video, showing lots of cool stuff, people are like, wow, this guy must be cooler than I thought he was. All right. What I have is now I have a $140 green screen. I used to have a $50 green screen. It cost me $50 to get the lighting equipment in my apartment. They're just very basic lighting. I'll even link to the lighting equipment and stuff I use like that. And I have a very basic HD camera that I got at Target. That's about it. There's also a lapel I bought. All right, for example, real quickly, just if you're thinking about doing this, I went to Amazon, and there's this little lapel you can buy. It just attaches to your shirt, and it makes it so, in my videos, it doesn't sound like canned or chunky or something like that, like most people's videos. That's exactly how I do it, because when you do that, it makes you look like you're on TV. Subconsciously, the TV connection goes off. People think you're an authority and a celebrity. Now, instant assumptions when people see this, all right? If people see you in HD camera, green screen, all this stuff like that, instantly they think you know what you're talking about. Instantly. They also think you're super high quality. Like, look at all this professional stuff right here. This person must be just a celebrity, high quality mastermind. All right. They also assume that you're well known. All right. When a person sees you maybe in a green screen or an HD or talking like the settings like Melanie Duncan was, they think instantly this person must be well known. I made all the perceptions that Melanie was well known before I even looked at her blog or looked at any social proof. All right. And they also think, wow, they are professional. All right. All these things together, massive selling power. Now, longer term, all right. When you do these things right here, when you're constantly sending people these pictures, interacting with them in video and stuff like that, they start off like, hey, I feel like I know this person. I like this person. Next, they think, hey, this person seems like someone I can trust. Next, they think, hey, I know this person, all right? And then next, they think, I'd like to get a beer with this person. And next, they think, I'd love to work with this guy. And then, boom, longer-term perception, when am I going to hear from this guy again? When is he going to release another video? When is he going to do this kind of stuff? And when you constantly do this and you stick to the same familiar setup over and over again, this naturally ensues. All right, so video. This is why, I'm speaking of video real quick, this is why I send anyone who buys a product to me to endless videos of me on Source TV. If you buy a product from me, you're going to get like 5 emails saying, hey, I created this episode of Source TV for you, or here's another video, here's another free video of me on Source TV. Why do I do that? Well, of course, because I enjoy it. I really enjoy working on SourceWave, but there's also a marketing level beyond that. Person, right after they interact with my business, I have their attention. First thing I'm going to do is say, here is me on camera. Look how professional I am. I'm in HD, the screen. I look like Daniel Tosh. I'm doing like drama tactics right there. Boom, just like that, I have the person hooked. That's why I made Source TV, and that's why I made all the cool logos and stuff like that. All right, and it really has a very, very low budget. That logo I made at the beginning cost $5. My green screen cost $149. The initial camera I bought was $300. Very, very low budget. All right, so on top of this is why if you buy anything from me ever, you always see me in video on the sales page. Always, 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 because I get my face on there, builds that trust, gets the video going, people have that familiarity, and everything that combines we talked about already in this webinar. This is why model Source TV also look like popular talk shows and so forth. And this is why I convey my personalities in video instead of sticking to the norms. This is why you see me screaming in videos. This is why you see me making inappropriate jokes and stuff like that, because it allows a person to get to know me and kind of view me in that celebrity way where they'd like to have a beer with me and stuff like that. So someone asked how long did it take me to get an initial video filmed and edited. if I sit down and do maybe like a 10-minute video of Source TV, I use Final Cut Pro, and then I also edit it in Camtasia. All these programs are very simple to use, FYI. They're not hard to use. Literally just look up a basic FAQ. I can get out a solid episode of Source TV. This is excluding the upload times. The uploading and converting time, that usually takes time. But excluding those times, I can probably get a show busted out in 3 hours. Or probably a lot less than that, probably closer to 2 hours. Because all I have to do is film the episode and then do the editing. That's it. And then usually 2 hours time, boom, just out like that. So pretty easy. So how can you use this? Let's walk away with some things you can do. All right, first off, you can use it exactly like I have on SourceWave for your blog that I told you guys to make last week. All right, and how else can you use? When sending clients emails in a funnel, say someone opts in for a quote from you or opts in to hear more information from you, constantly be sending them videos of you instead of being sending them emails. An email is impersonal. A video of you teaching them something builds all those things we just talked about. When making videos for your clients as well, convey a bit of your own personality. Bring value to the video. Teach them something while doing it in your own unique way. The person's going to feel like they know you. They're going to get to like you. All right, if a person sees you in video and you're giving off a bit of your personality and they don't like you, that's not a person you would have worked well with in the first place. All right, you want to attract clients that you would also work very well with. And so that's just one thing right there to keep in mind. You will never attract or make a client really want to work with you if you stick to the generic thing that everybody else is doing. So on top of that, also, this ties back in with getting the as seen ins, getting featured places. When you hang up news sources, potential as seen ins, whatever, send them to your videos. That's what I do. I send them to my videos on Source TV. The news sources think the exact same thing that potential customers do. They see the videos as well, and they're just like, whoa, you know, look at this guy. I'm kind of losing my voice here in a second. We're getting close to the end of the webinar, but they go, whoa, look at this guy in this video. You know, it's HD green screen. This guy must be well known. Boom, you have a story right there. Okay, so how else can we use this? All right, so pictures of you working in a niche. Imagine if you're in realty, like Dean right over here. Get pictures at realty events. Get pictures working with well-known realtors. Just like that. You're using that star power bonus to you again. Have the celebrity business coach picture with stuff related to your niche. What I meant to put right there, everybody can have a picture similar to this on their niche. All right, you see right here, this picture right here. This is like the stereotypical business person picture, like the celebrity business coach. If you look at the covers of Tony Robbins books, other like business coach books out there, modeled it just after that. The reason why I do that is because people see Tony Robbins books, they see those other books out there, then they see this and they go, oh, he's in the same league. Just trust-based values, connections people make in their head, completely not based in logic. So just the one thing I can really always stress is that selling stuff online has nothing to do with logic. So, all right, let's go through this other stuff right here. All right. Now, also, when you're about to pitch your client, or maybe when he gets a quote or something and he shows he's interested, make videos of yourself in front of like your computer first in HD. Just, hey Sam, you know, I'm really excited about your business, so and so. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna hop into my computer right now. I'm gonna be taking you through X, Y, and Z on Market Samurai and all these advanced cool tools, and we're gonna be walking you through it. So let's hop over here. Just like that. That's 10 times more powerful than saying I'm just a little written stupid PowerPoint quote. All right. And then focus on getting you in person in front of people as much as possible. The more people see pictures of you, the more people see videos of you, the more they're going to relate to you, and the more they're going to want to do business with you. It sounds kind of weird, you know, a little bit. Someone said no video. Can you guys see the video real quick? Can you see my screen? Just real quick, can you see my screen, everybody? Let's see. What about now? Oh, okay, cool. All right, great. So the end result of all this, guys, is if you create that celebrity aura, even if you're not a celebrity in the industry, you can create that instant perception no matter what using the stuff we've covered in this webinar. I'm also going to be releasing the PowerPoint slides like we did in the last webinar. And it is so extremely powerful. It is so extremely powerful. And it's not hard to create that celebrity aura, in these smaller niches. All right, all the things I've taught you so far, dampening down to smaller niches, making the blog, making yourself seem like a celebrity, everything we've talked about all ties together. And when you combine it all together, it's actually exceptionally easy to do. Now, And it also creates clients in your heads that work for you. When a person comes on your site, guys, it's all about the questions in their head. When a person goes to Kyle Guston's site, they don't think, oh, just another SEO. They think, who is this guy? Instantly, just like that. With Melanie Duncan's site, I thought that. I saw her site, I thought, who is this girl? And look at all these things. She's featured here, here, and here. And she's in an HD camera. She must know what she's talking about. It creates all these questions that create extreme interest. And at the end of the day, being a celebrity is interest in you. It is not how good you are at something. It's not anything. There's tons of people that are celebrities out there and get paid top budget for what they do that absolutely suck at what they do. So at the end of the day, be the celebrity. Right? So that's the closing statement. Did everybody get what I'm talking about so far? Cool. Did I nail the nail on the head? Did I nail it on the head this webinar? Did everybody get a lot out of this webinar? Does everybody see stuff they can do with this webinar? Some people just throw your ideas up here. Somebody throw some ideas out there that you could take away from this webinar and apply this week. Julian said, seems overwhelming. That's exactly how it's supposed to feel. All right. Frank Kern, Mario Brown, Megan Duncan, Kyle Guston, myself never got anywhere by backing down when something seemed overwhelming. When you feel intimidated, when you feel scared, that's a sign that you're learning something new and you're growing. It's painful, it's scary, it's extremely uncomfortable, but it's the best sign of growth. It's just like when you're working out weights, you're going to feel resistance. But that's how you grow. All right, that's how you go from the marketer that's so-so to the person that people look up to and come to see. Stop hiding behind websites. Anthony Noon says, gotta make myself look tight, put pics and videos. Okay. Combination of celebrity perception with case studies seems to be a winning formula. Exactly. That's exactly what I did in SourceWave, Robin. All right. Start getting a video in front of the video camera a few times per day. And exactly, like, one thing I want to stress, guys, is, you might not be good at this right away. My first episode of Source TV, if you guys can go back, you can actually watch videos of me from way back in the day. I was horrible at speaking, terribly awkward, but I did it anyways, and now it just builds and builds and builds upon itself. Yeah. Makes my information more glorified. Yep, I'm already doing video in front of potential clients, Julian says. Searching for a green screen already. I'll actually link all of the tools I use underneath this video if you'd like to get into it. It's a great thing to have in your office too. Yeah. Positioning. What software do I use for Source TV? I use Final Cut and Camtasia. But it's because I'm really stupid and can't figure out how to use Final Cut the right way, so I'll edit and do the green screen in Final Cut, and then I'll export it to Camtasia. Where do we get cool backgrounds from the green screen? I just Googled it and found some. I'll link to a site below this video where you can get cool backgrounds too. And yeah, Chris says putting myself out there. And that's the real big thing about this webinar, guys. What I want everyone to do that comes through Source Dynasty, I want you to make a ton of money, like a shit ton of money. And one thing that no big internet marketer out there says when they got big is that they made themselves a celebrity, and that's how they're easily able to sell. And that's a huge core out there. If you can make yourself look like the shit, then people will think you're the shit, and they will pay you like you're the shit. All right? It's so important. And putting yourself out there, becoming an authority in people's eyes, you can't do that while hiding behind a camera. You can't do that while being just another business person. You have to stand out. You have to be the authority. You have to be the celebrity if you want to charge the top prices. Hey, would you guys like, I see a lot of questions about how green screens will work. Would you guys like maybe for me to just put together maybe just a 10-minute tutorial on how to use green screens and Camtasia and Final Cut and stuff like that? Would you guys appreciate that? Okay, cool. I'll put that together. Yeah, Anthony says, someone said, Robin says, Final Cut Pro is quite expensive. Do not tell anybody, and I will delete this from the recording, but I will show you a place to get Final Cut Pro for free. And Camtasia, if you can't afford it right now, if you, I actually did this for the longest time, but if you go to the calendar on your computer and you set it back before the free trial started, you can work on Camtasia too. So don't tell anyone. Shh. All right. All right, so cool. Everybody enjoy this webinar? Cool. Great, great. Everybody enjoy the webinar? Everybody enjoying Source Dynasty still? Great. Awesomeness, guys. All right. Well, All right, everyone. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you for your valuable time. Thank you for being a part of Source Dynasty. You guys make everything worth doing, literally. So appreciate you guys. I will see you around the forums. I have a lot more free time now, so I'm going to be on the forums a lot more. Yeah, up yours, Dave. All right, guys. Someone said, when are we going to do the meetup? I'm planning that right now. It's probably going to be in the next 3 months. So, and I'll have the links under the webinar and the replay when I post this on Source Dynasty. So I will see everybody tomorrow on the replay. So cool. Take it easy, guys.